Welcome back to Capital Connections. I'm your host, John O'Connor. Let's now join the Keene area residents to hear Senator Bernie Sanders' reflections on Social Security and wage stagnation.
Telling you that Social Security is going broke, tell them, or at least yell at the television, and tell them that ain't true. Social Security has $2.5 trillion in the trust fund, can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 18 years. And when they tell you Social Security is responsible for our deficit, or has added to our deficit, tell them that's not true either, because as all of you know, Social Security is funded independently through the payroll tax. We have introduced legislation, and as president, I will fight hard to make this law that extends Social Security for another 30 to 40 years on top of the 18 and expands benefits. And you know how we do that? We scrap the cap that currently exists. And what that means, not everybody knows what that means. What that means right now is you got somebody here making $10 million a year, somebody here making $118,000. Both of those people are contributing the same exact amount of money into the Social Security Trust Fund. And you don't even have to start at $119,000. You could start at $250,000. You lift the cap on top of that. We will have Social Security extended for decades and be able to expand benefits. Let me conclude by just saying, first of all, thank you. This is a fantastic turnout.
Thank you.
Last week and a half, I was in Concord. We were in Concord, we were in Epping, and we were in Portsmouth. It was a huge turnout. So let me tell you a secret. We're going to win New Hampshire. We can't win it without your help. And the help that I need, you know New Hampshire, better than we do. We're just staffing up now. And I would urge everybody who wants to be part of the campaign, go to our website, berniesanders.com, and we'll figure out how we can best utilize people. But look, once people get mobilized, and once people get actively involved in the political process, and once people begin to stand up, we can win. We can win not only in New Hampshire, not only Iowa, but more importantly, people in this country are very angry. And you know what? We have a right to be angry. We have a right to ask why workers, in some cases, are earning hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year less in inflation adjusted for dollars than they used to. We have a right to ask how it is that people don't have health insurance, can't afford to send their kids to college. And what Republicans have done in a very clever way is develop wedge issues that tap into that angle. So what they say to some guy who's working longer hours for low wages, they say, you know what, maybe it's a black worker who's taking your job or is competing with you. Or maybe it's immigration. Or what about gay rights? Or what about climate change and all this stuff? What they do is deflect attention away from the major economic issues facing our country. Or maybe it's guns or whatever it may be. And what our job is to say to those people, look, you disagree with me on a woman's right to choose. I have a 100% lifetime record on that. That's my view, it ain't gonna change. You disagree with me on the issue of gay marriage. I've been one of the leaders in the Congress in protecting gay rights. You can even disagree with me on climate change, which I think is a planetary crisis. But please, our message to these people is do not vote against your own kids and your parents. How are you voting for people who are prepared to cut your mom's Social Security? Why are you voting for people who will make it impossible for you to send your kids to college or have decent child care? Why are you voting against Four people who are going to make it harder for you to feed your family, who are going to send your jobs to China. Now, the answer to that is that in large parts of this country, sad to say, people have never heard a progressive message. You go to large parts of this country, what they hear is Rush Limbaugh and Fox TV. Okay? And also, I must tell you, and I feel very strongly about this, Democrats have made a huge mistake by not developing a 50-state strategy. What the Democrats have done is abdicate, basically put up a white flag in many, many states around the country. They're not competing, they're not bringing forth progressive ideas, they're not recruiting good candidates. So all that people hear is Rush Limbaugh and right-wing candidates. We have got to challenge these right-wing Republicans in every state in this country. Because at the end of the day, you go out to any state, and you ask somebody, stop people on a street corner and say, do you believe that we should give huge tax breaks to billionaires, cut Social Security and Medicare, and send our jobs to China? You're not going to find 5% of the people who believe that that agenda makes sense. That, in fact, is what the Republican agenda is, and we've got to expose that agenda all over America, and I intend to do just that.
When Capital Connections returns, we're going to hear Senator Bernie Sanders, who's going to give his views on the criminal justice system and the need to rethink it, along with rethinking healthcare. But first, listen to these messages from the good businesses that make this show possible.